Hi, Miss Dawkins.
Hi.
Thanks so much for meeting with me today.
Sure.
I wanted to spend a few minutes focusing on a powerful classroom routine, the do it now. This is one of the most high leverage moves we can tighten as teachers, especially when we want to build consistency, pacing, and student ownership of learning from the very start of class. Our goal today then will be to define what a strong do now looks like, look at an exemplar, and work together to create one that aligns to your next lesson.
That sounds great. I've been trying a few do nows this year, but I'm not always sure if they're aligned or the best use of time.
You know, that's a really common reflection. According to Paul Bambrick Santoyo's Get Better Faster, the do now is one of the essential habits that accelerates learning when done with intentionality. When students know that every class starts the same way, with a purposeful, silent, independent task, it builds a sense of urgency and signals that learning begins the moment they walk in. As Bambrick says, routines are the foundation of learning. This also gives you valuable information about students' readiness before the actual instruction begins.
That makes sense. I've noticed that when I have something prepared and tight at the start, my kids settle faster and I can launch into the lesson with fewer disruptions.
Exactly. So let's look at the four key components of a strong do now. First, it should be aligned to the day's objective or previous skill. It should be independent, silent, and short, something they can complete in 3 to 5 minutes. Third, it should be rigorous but accessible for all students. Fourth, it should clearly communicate directions with no teacher reteach required. Also, it should be posted or ready before students walk into the room. The goal is for them to transition seamlessly into learning mode.
I think I've done that a few times, especially when reviewing before a quiz. But sometimes I find myself giving too much direction during the do now, and then it eats into the lesson.
You know, that's a great insight. A strong do now should speak for itself, clear enough that you can greet students, take attendance, and still gather useful academic data as they work. Okay, so let me show you an example from 5th grade ELAR class. The objective would be to use past tense or irregular verbs. This is Tech 5.11D. The do now task would be write 3 complete sentences using the past tense of the following verbs: buy, know, sell. It's simple but powerful. It reviews irregular verb patterns, connects to the lesson objective, and gives the teacher a quick glance at who gets it.
I like that. It's focused, but still pushes students to write and apply what they know. I could definitely see using something like that.
Let's try one together. What's your objective for tomorrow?
Well, we're identifying main ideas and supporting details in a nonfiction article.
Perfect. What's a way we could warm up in under 5 minutes and use that? What prior knowledge or scaffolding would help?
Maybe I could give them a short paragraph and ask them to underline the main idea and circle one supporting detail.
Yes, that's a great way to reinforce the skill, and it gives you a pulse check on their readiness. Let's write that out now. Clear instructions, quick task, and tight alignment. So, here are our SMART goals for the following week. By the end of this week, I want you to implement your revised do now during tomorrow's lesson, tracking how long it takes students to complete it and any common errors, and bring 1 to 2 samples of student responses to our next coaching check-in on Monday. That way we can analyze what worked, refine the format if needed, and scale it across the rest of your weekly lessons. Sound like a plan?
Absolutely. That gives me something clear to work towards and a chance to reflect before we meet again.
Perfect. You're already laying a strong foundation for consistency and student engagement. Thanks again for your thoughtful work and for leaning into this process. I'm excited to see how your do nows evolve.
Thank you. I'm feeling more confident already.
Awesome.